What's up, guys? It's Dani LaMartina and Justin Erickson here with Team Troponin, First Detachment Nutrition. Friendly reminder, you can find a lot more of this information at teamtroponin.com. Check out the supplements at firstdetachmentnutrition.com. You can use code
Justin10
to get you a 10% discount on the products, including ebooks, swag, and supplements. We're going to give you a quick tutorial / rundown on a commonly used movement, cable pullover, and how your specific bodies and preferences might approach this a little bit differently. So Justin has a long history of playing college, D1 baseball, really strong pusher. He pushes through everything. Very different. I'm a puller. I pull my way through everything. So we're going to talk about how our different preferences kind of bias this movement to be more or less effective. So I'm going to start off by kind of picking Justin apart because he's giving me the freedom to do so. Go ahead and get set up. And there are a couple things. So go ahead and just get set up. And without any cues, kind of get there. So for Justin, one of the things that I saw when we were warming up, I'm going to move this just so we can see, is he's got a couple things. Since he's a strong pusher, when we first started today, he was finishing the movement by pushing through and spreading with his triceps and getting really closed off here, almost using anterior delt to kind of get him into that short position of the movement. So there are a couple keys I'm going to look at with him. Number one, I want to make sure he keeps a soft elbow so that he's not having a tendency to want to lock out or starting an extension. But I think starting an extension still gives a lot of leverage to triceps. So I want to keep soft elbow to really keep his lat. And then the other key I'm going to give him is to pull apart and really separate his hands by using his back. So he's going to get a little bit more upper back effect here. The other key I'm looking at for him, and this is one that a lot of people really struggle with, especially in their posing, particular for their back double, trying to get their chest up and almost taking their sternum and angling it towards the sky, which if you want to create the shape on stage that judges want to see, you have to be able to almost extend a little bit. So
it's like we discussed earlier, you gotta have to use your posing for your lifting action here. So when you're going through there, especially from the back side, you're trying to drive hips through to the front and get that spread and width in there.
Yeah. Look, this is so great. There was very little of this as it was rehearsed. We were just kind of like taking one from the thing. So for Justin, he's going to come in position. Interesting, we're going to look at his hinging, another point this weekend, but as he pulls through, as he thinks about widening here, I want him to actually visualize that hinge spot where he has to be able to extend and drive his sternum up. A lot of bodybuilders stay in a position of extension, so for this, yeah, he's going to exaggerate it. But the other thing is, if you listen to any of the podcasts, I tend to think most people live in too much thoracic extension. Even if you have too much thoracic extension, you still have to be able to open that chest up. And so for him, not only am I going to keep him to drive this into a hinge point, but I actually want sternum tall. Because if he can find sternum tall, he's going to get some really good back work in addition to finding the position that he needs for his posing. So if you're a pushing dominant person and have a hard time really feeling your back with certain movements, kind of wondering why you're feeling your triceps, that might be why. Now for me, I'm a pull dominant. So Justin's going to pick me apart here for a sec. I'm going to drop the weight because I'm not 280 pounds. Thank God.
All right, so we'll see kind of some of the anatomic differences here between myself being more of a pusher and Dave's more of a puller here. So the big thing for her, especially with the long history of powerlifting, she is very anatomically strong through her lats. So you'll see, especially between the both of us, she has more movement within her shoulders area here. So if you watch, her whole shoulder girdle will come through, her shoulders rotate through more than mine do. I have to lock mine in. But still, once she gets here at the stretch, pause there for a second, up at the top here, you'll see her engage. She still pulls through with her lat. So go through here to the bottom. Whereas most of the time, you'll see people that lose their shoulders, they lose that stretch in there. They start pushing with their shoulders, and you'll watch their shoulder blades collapse through there.
Can you make me do that?
So yeah. So she comes through here, shoulders will release at the top, come all the way up. Yep. And then they'll pull back through, come through. Yep. And they'll close off here. Well, open up the chest, but they close off the backside here.
Mm-hmm.
Now go through your normal movement. If you watch her here, her shoulders actually rotate through, but she's still pulling with her lats. Yeah, there you go. And this comes through a long history for her, especially being a strong puller. Yep. But still at the bottom here, she still is wide. She thinks about her posing here, comes through, and just still the spread here for her lats. Okay. Good.
One thing that Justin caught that made a lot of sense to me that no one's really caught before is he asked, are you right side dominant? And I was like, yeah, my back is jacked up right now because I made a poor training decision a couple weeks ago. But we started talking through a lot of the lat stuff that he was just mentioning. And for me, when I deadlift, it's like I can open up and use my lats, but it always shortens proximal. So this portion of my lat moves really well. This portion stays chronically short. And I think that really puts me at a disadvantage for a lot of my pulling movements.
We can set this up, dude. You want to show them that too on your pull here? Come on to the side right here. We'll just set a little pull.
Like here?
Yep. You could probably even see, yep. So if you look shoulder-wise here, her left side is still a little bit lower here than her right side. So go through and start your pull. You'll see as soon as she starts her pull here, yep. Right side drives that action through first, and the left essentially plays catch-up with it.
Yeah.
You're good there.
So I think, quick summary for people, if you're someone who has a hard time really connecting with or feeling your back and pulling movements, kind of zoom out and think about, just off the bat, do you feel like you're a stronger pusher or puller? Because your kind of preference towards one of those things, I think, is going to set your body up neurologically to bias that movement even in pull.
Yeah, and a lot of that'll be too, there's the same intention there, but the way that we get there is a little bit different. If I were to approach this pull down like Dani does, where letting my whole shoulder rotate through it, I would just subconsciously start driving through it. I can't do that. I have to pull in, get a stretch through my lats, and drive with the lats rather than rotate them. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas for me, I have to make sure I'm actually having this move open here rather than dumping forward.
Yeah, or you just hinge off and close.
Right.
Yeah.
It's great for an efficient deadlift, terrible for back transfer. All right, cool guys, thanks for listening. Drop us any comments, questions, anything you have below. Again, you can find Justin with the Instagram handle.
Justin Erickson 13.
And Dani LaMartina, DPT. That's it.
That should be good.
This episode is brought to you by First Detachment. First Detachment is an expert formulated supplement company founded by renowned coach Justin Harris. We've combined science with real-world experience in each product. We are battle tested. Are you? Find your battle today at firstdetachment.com.